Okay, this is John Keegan with theawakenedlifestyle.com, and we're here with James Marshall with thenaturallifestyles.com.
How you going?
And we're here to talk today about lifestyle, building an excellent lifestyle. What I always am amazed about you, and even myself sometimes, I feel like I'm walking in a dream because I'm experiencing exactly what I want to experience almost every day. And then I look at you, and you really are a master of lifestyle design. You had a vision of the life you wanted to live,
Yep.
and you're not only are you living it just getting by, you're living it while becoming wealthy, while helping men around the world achieve their dreams, become themselves, become free to do what they want when they want, to express themselves, to be connected to themselves, to be aligned with their intention, and to date the women they want to date. So this is something, and all the while you're dating the women you want to date, you're living where you want to live, how you want to live, you're living large, so to speak. So I think it would be amazing if you could share a little bit about where you came from, where you started.
Yep.
Because I know what I know about your past is you were a musician, and most musicians, and you weren't a rock star, right?
Well,
I mean, some people thought.
There was some towns in northern New South Wales where they knew us.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So you want to know where I came from?
Yeah, I want to know where you came from.
Look, I mean, it's important in the sense that I came from something that is not the rock star lifestyle. I didn't come from money. I didn't come from influence. I didn't come from a cool city. I was a dorky, weird kid growing up. I was interested in playing the flute, singing opera. Got involved in martial arts. I was not a cool kid. And I guess really early on, when I left high school, basically, I decided that my priorities were going to be travel. That was the first thing. Travel and seeking out masters, because at that time I was on a big spiritual quest as a young 18-year-old guy.
Yeah.
And so I decided not to go to university like everyone else did. I took a year off and I went and worked, actually on farms in the deserts of Australia, picking fruit, like this horrendous work.
Yeah.
But I worked my ass off for a few months, saved money, and then went traveling around Asia and India, and got into spirituality, met meditation masters, went on these quite difficult treks for an 18-year-old kid through northern India, through the Himalayas, all this shit. And that became my pattern, was that I decided over those years when I didn't have a lot of money, I was like every other person, I worked in shitty jobs, sometimes to save money, or I did this kind of stuff. And instead of buying a car or going into university and incurring a huge debt and just staying there for 4 years, I took time off and I travelled and I worked and I learned.
Okay.
And I've never stopped that. And I didn't really go back to university, so it's true what your mother says, if you leave, you might not go back, but is that such a bad thing? Maybe not.
Right.
And then gradually, I mean, my passions were for traveling, for spirituality, for meditation, and for meeting women and exploring my comfort zones.
Yeah, so this is a lot of guys' dreams, and a lot of guys will say, "Oh, wouldn't it be nice if I could do that?"
Right.
Wouldn't it? Yeah, wouldn't it be nice? Oh, yeah, that guy can do that. What do you think the main defining thing that the essence of you that made you make all those choices, where I would say you were listening to your instincts, listening to your impulses, and making that the most important voice in the world, rather than your parents' influence, rather than society's influence of what's supposed to happen, but really rather this internal voice that said, "Hey, this is where I want to go right now." You certainly didn't know you'd end up here in this park today, being a dating and lifestyle company.
No.
Yeah.
It really did come down to that. What do I want to do right now? What is the thing that I really want to do right now?
Right.
Not what is the thing that's easy, what is the thing that's comfortable, what is the thing that's good, but it's, we know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted to go to Shaolin Temple and learn from the monks of Shaolin Temple Kung Fu. I wanted to go to India and find meditation stuff. I wanted to go to Europe and start a business, move my life over here, find amazing women, and make money or whatever. And so I've had those points, not just once, but many times in my life when I could have many lives I've lived.
Yeah.
Even recently, 2 years ago, everything was cool in Australia. I could have stayed there. There was money coming in, we had clients, life was comfortable, I had all my friends, and I really wanted to move this ship over to Europe because I love this area. I wanted to, explore what it's like to live in another country, learn a language, date women from other cultures, and set up.
Right.
And so, you know, until recently, and I'll do it again. You know,
Yeah.
that's the way I keep doing things.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, if people don't want to do that, cool. I mean, sure, have a life that's safe and comfortable in your city. And I mean, you have a life in a city where it's dynamic and amazing. You can just be in one place.
Right.
But for me, I love doing this in 12 countries a year.
Yeah.
And why not?
Right.
Yeah. So I think the thing that's stopping a lot of guys is simply that fear of the unknown, of like travel, of getting a passport, of, you know, trying to negotiate a new language, trying to meet women here.
Right.
And that's why you need those elements of lifestyle design, which is the ability to do this: travel, learn, explore, live, work.
Right.
At the same time as seduction or social skills, you need to be able to interact with people, because otherwise you can travel the world and you never meet anybody.
Right. Yeah, and that's a big deal. A lot of people could just be walking around lonely all day, not connecting, and then they're like, I don't like travel. I don't like leaving my small world because now I'm in my head all day. I'm not having the experiences I want to have. And that's a really big deal, because at the end of the day, the experiences we do want to have, it's nice to see pretty sights. It can be very awe-inspiring.
There's some pretty sights.
It's even nicer to see attractive people. And here's the thing I also learned about you. That's really impressive. Is complete ownership of your intentions and desires. You don't have any shame about yourself. You are very aligned with your intentions and desires, and you're very clear about the vision you have, and you don't let fear or limiting thoughts get in the way. You just basically said, I want to be this guy, and you made it happen. And now it's happening beautifully. And then also, you're not afraid to do the work. I mean, that's the other thing. It doesn't just happen. You put a lot of work into creating this lifestyle.
Yeah, it's not just about having a vision board, you know, using the secret to vibe yourself there.
Right.
No, certainly I had to take actions. I had to, you know, tighten my belt here, save money, research ways to, you know, get into a country. I had to, I mean, originally I set up traveling workshops as the first. These were the first of their type,
Right.
traveling seduction workshops.
Yeah.
I did that originally so I could get back to Europe to see a girl that I was in love with at the time.
Right. Yeah.
And it's not that I didn't have the limiting fears or limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
Those things always existed. I had a lot of doubt about whether I'd be able to do this, whether I was worthy, whether it was a good idea, whether it was reckless, like
Right.
anyone does. Because, you know, other people were saying, you know, be safe, stay here, do this. Other people were doing that. But I was seeing that the people who were doing that, for the most part, weren't very happy. You know, my contemporaries who were having kids and getting stable jobs in the public service, or, you know, doing endless degrees and stuff they weren't sure if they wanted to do. And
Right.
I was like, well, fuck that. I'm going to spend these years when I'm a young man pursuing things I want to do, and it's not going to be easy, and it's going to be, you know, I'm going to have fears, I'm going to have struggles, but that's what I want to do. And so, and I always thought the worst thing that's going to happen is I'm going to end back on my mother's couch.
Right.
You know, especially in your 20s. Like, guys
Yeah.
are worried about their retirement funds and shit in their 20s.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
come on,
crazy.
dudes.
Yeah. That could all be wiped away in a day if the market crashes.
Yeah, and I mean, and then you can certainly get into entrepreneurship, into money, into understanding that stuff as you go along. I was never stupid with money, I just didn't have much.
Right.
And as I learned about it and got into entrepreneurship, well, then that became something that I became interested in, and you know, came to learn how to make that work.
Right.